From Washington, this is VOA News. A female accomplice in the French terrorist attacks is sought. North Korea offers a moratorium. I'm Vincent Bruce, reporting from Washington. Western media report the suspected female accomplice of the Islamists who carried out the terrorist attacks in France was in the Middle East at the time of those killings. According to Turkish intelligence officials, Hayat Boumeddiene entered Turkey on January 2nd and may have traveled on to Syria. French authorities initially suspected Boumeddiene was with her boyfriend, Amedy Coulibaly, when he killed 4 shoppers at a kosher market in Paris on Friday. Security forces have been conducting a massive search for the 26-year-old Boumeddiene, who was first thought to have escaped during the chaos when police stormed the market in an attempt to free hostages. Coulibaly was shot dead in an exchange of gunfire. North Korea says it is willing to declare a temporary moratorium on nuclear testing if the United States scraps plans for joint military maneuvers held annually with South Korea. The U.S. State Department, in a brief response Saturday, called the linking of possible nuclear testing with military drills, quote, an implicit threat. The U.S. State Department has issued a global travel warning for American citizens after recent terrorist attacks by Islamic militants. The State Department statement says kidnappings and hostage-taking involving U.S. citizens are becoming more prevalent. At least 16 people are reported killed in a bombing at a market in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State in Nigeria. About 20 others are reported wounded. The bomb went off around midday, and some media reports say the blast may have been triggered by a 10-year-old girl. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. This is VOA News. In Somalia, security was tight across the capital for the meeting of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, or IGAD. The first gathering of its type in decades focused on political and security progress made in Somalia, as well as the anticipated 2016 elections. For VOA, Abdulaziz Billow has more from Mogadishu.
The meeting in Mogadishu, the first of its kind in Somalia since 1991, brought together foreign ministers from Kenya, Uganda, Sudan, Djibouti, Somalia, Ethiopia, and South Sudan. Ethiopian Foreign Minister Tedros Adhanom, who is the chairman of the IGAD Council of Ministers, praised Mogadishu's successful hosting of the IGAD summit.
Our discussion focused on 3 areas. One is the Vision 2016. The second is on the security issue, security sector. And the third is on stabilization.
Abdulaziz Billow for VOA News, Mogadishu.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is on a trip to South Asia and Europe after a brief stop in Munich, Germany for talks with the Sultan of Oman. Kerry will travel to India to attend the Vibrant Gujarat Investment Summit hosted by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki says Kerry will hold separate meetings with Indian and American CEOs attending the summit. The tail section of the Air Asia plane that crashed into the Java Sea was raised from beneath the surface Saturday. However, Indonesian investigators did not find the black box recorders inside. Searchers detected ping signals from the black boxes of Flight 8501 on Friday, but officials said the boxes seemed to be separated from the tail section. U.S. President Barack Obama says 2014 was a breakthrough year for America, and he has the evidence to back that up. The president said in his weekly address Saturday that 2014 was the strongest year for job growth since the 1990s, with unemployment falling faster than it has in 3 decades. Making his weekly address from Pellissippi State Community College in Tennessee, Mr. Obama said the Affordable Care Act was one of the positives of the past year.
Thanks to the Affordable Care Act, about 10 million Americans have gained health insurance in the past year alone. We've cut our deficits by about 2/3. And after 13 long years, our war in Afghanistan has come to a responsible end, and more of our brave troops have come home.
In Tennessee, Mr. Obama unveiled his new plan to make 2 years of community college free for every responsible student. A huge rocket carried an unmanned supply ship loaded with cargo for the International Space Station into orbit on Saturday. The cargo capsule is expected to reach the space station on Monday. I'm Vincent Bruce, reporting from Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.